What's going on, everyone? I'm Zephyr Chung with our Diecast, and for today's video, I'm reviewing this Lamborghini Huracan LP610-4 by Bburago. I saw this car on sale, used for $10, and I thought that was a really good deal. I mean, there really was no reason not to purchase this car. So, the Lamborghini Huracan, it's the successor to the popular Lamborghini Gallardo. And several years back, when I first heard about this car, it was called the Cabrera, but it was renamed Huracan upon its official release. So the name Huracan means strong wind, so basically hurricane in English. And like many Lamborghini models, its name derives from a legendary fighting bull from the 1800s. So this particular model is the earlier 2014 version, which is also called the LP610-4. Now, there are many Lamborghini Huracan models you can buy, Maestro, Bburago, Welly, and Artward, and probably more. But I think the Bburago version was one of the first Huracans on the market, and you can get this car in a huge variety of colors, yellow, green, red, white, silver, and the Italian police version as well. So let's get started with the front of the model, and as you can tell, the design of the Huracan is heavily influenced by that of the Aventador. You can see the aggressive lines and hexagonal design. So here are the headlamps. They are actually really poorly made. They give away instantly that this is a cheaper model, and I think it's a really bad headlamp, even for a Maestro and Bburago model. So, the reason for that is the headlamp covers are way too thick, and the bezel inside it is very shoddy, let's say, and the bulbs are not the clear plastic material. It's the transparent gray plastic, so they look nothing like bulbs, as you can see here. And the LED lines are way too thick, so being a lower end model, the finish is not too great, and you can tell that the paint job is not evenly spread out the car. You can see bits of gray on the edges here, and all of the grills are completely blocked. So it uses a single layer of plastic, and the wipers are fixed onto the windshield and are in a single piece as well. You can open the trunk of the model. It has a surprisingly small opening angle, and being a midship car, the trunk is up front. Nothing much to see in here, just plain black plastic. Surprises me every time how cramped the trunk is on these supercars. And here is the side of the model. The Huracan uses a hybrid chassis that combined aluminum instead of the carbon monocoque chassis used in the Aventador. And that is because that's in order to share the chassis with the second generation Audi R8. One thing that really bothers me is how large the gap is between the door and the body. It almost looks like the door doesn't close properly. The gap is so large, and the turning signal is down here. It's painted to the bumper, and like I said earlier, the paint isn't done very the paint job isn't done very nicely. As you can see bits of gray on the lines here, and the paint job down here, it's a little bit lighter yellow than the body of the car. And here are the rims. The rims are fine, they are adequately colored, and they've done a neat job with the brake pads and the disc brakes as well. The Bburago Huracan uses a different rim from the Auto Art Rally and Kyosho cars. It's really unique. They do exist on the real car, but they are not as common as the 5-spoke, so it's really unique and interesting. Kind of like it. The doors do open, but they have a terrible, terrible angle. It hardly opens, and you can barely get a glimpse inside the interior. And this is a common problem with Meister and Bburago cars, and it really annoys me. The interior is just what you would expect on a budget model. They've expressed everything, but not in a detailed manner. They did paint the edges of the door panel and the control panel down there in silver, and they put a little sticker for the speedometer and the steering wheel. You can't really feel it that well with the model, but the Huracan's interior is a lot better than that of the Gallardo. It resembles the interior of the Aventador and is actually quite luxurious. And here is the view from the passenger side. They've also made the seat belts as well. For some reason, the buckle is part of the seatbelt, which, while most of the cars I saw uses a separate part for the buckle. There's a view of the interior. It's pretty neat. Now here is the rear of the model. Again, you can see that the design is heavily influenced by both the Lamborghini Aventador and the Sesto Elemento. So the grille below the brake light is completely blocked as well. Gets blurry. Don't know what's wrong with it. The assistant lamp over here is just painted onto the car, as well as the Lamborghini lettering. And as for the rear lamp, the peg can be faintly seen over here. And what I really didn't like about the brake lamp was how these turn signals are just painted onto the brake lamp. I think it looks absolutely cheap and horrible. The exhausts are made of chrome, and they are actually done very nicely. It's very clean. I've seen very few Maisto/Bburago cars with such cleanly made exhausts. And here is the engine. And the clear plastic cover is a really popular option on the real car. The base option is a black plastic cover, and this clear plastic cover isn't flat. It's just flat, unlike that of the Aventador. Of course, you can open it to see the engine. Of course, there's nothing much to see because of the cover over here, but there isn't much to see in the engine. But surprisingly, the engine isn't a single layer of plastic. The whole piece stretches down to the bottom of the car, which is pretty impressive and was not expected. The cheap plastic kind of keeps the car from looking really upscale and realistic, but they did paint the silver lines in the Lamborghini lettering pretty cleanly. The Huracan uses a upgraded 5.2 liter V10 that was used in its predecessor, the Gallardo. Although the newly developed IDS increased both power and fuel economy, as you can tell by its subname LP610-4, the Huracan gets a 610 horsepower and 57 kilograms of torque. It does a 0 to 100 in around 3.2 seconds, I believe, and gets a top speed of 342 kilometers per hour, which is a huge upgrade from the Gallardo, and nearly matches that of the Aventador. And here is the bottom of the car. Nothing much to see in there. I think it would have been nice if they have just carved out the area right here so you can see the engine block like they did on the Maestro Super Leggera. But unfortunately, that's not the case with this model. Nothing much to see in it. Being a Bburago, of course, it doesn't come with working suspension. So that's it. My review on the 118 Bburago Lamborghini Huracan LP610-4. Now, if you live in the United States or other areas that carry 118 Maestro cars in really big retail stores, you may be able to find this one for sale with the Maestro packaging um, for a really affordable price. And if you can get it under $20 new, I really don't see a reason not to get this car. Otherwise, I think the Willy version is better. Of course, not to say that this is a bad model though. It has the typical Meister and Bburago quality, nothing more, nothing less. The pros of the model is, of course, the affordable pricing, great availability, and the well-made engine. The cons are the terrible door opening angles, the poorly made headlamps, the poor paint job, and the cheap plastic material. Nonetheless, I really enjoy this model, and I think it's definitely worth the price I pay for it. And I'm actually planning on keeping it for a while. So thank you all for watching. Be sure to click like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all later in a future video. Thank you.